Okay, so these next set of reviews are going to be looking at River Phoenix. He was a young man, I think, who rose to fame for acting. A couple movies, I think Stand By Me, I think, was one of the biggest ones from what I read. I don't know this gentleman, but was requested by Nick Luck 3720. I hope I said that correct. But Nick, I appreciate your support and watching the channel and the views and everything. So I appreciate it. But River, I'm thinking, is very similar to Kurt Cobain, and that there was a pop in stardom, and there was an abhorrence of stardom by River, and so ultimately that led to certain behaviors that may have been detrimental. So here we go.
Speak. 3, 2, 1, and rolling.
River, I'm so happy to be here talking with you today because we have never met. I only know you through your work. I'm a big fan of yours. Normally, we don't start interviews saying we're a big fan. That's supposed to be a no-no. But you have to know that I am. And I especially enjoyed your performance in Running on Empty. There are so many elements to that film, and as I sat there living that experience with the family and everything, one thought that came to my mind is how you would react, or how do you think you would handle it if you were really in that boy's position?
Me being River,
Mm-hmm.
I would have handled it differently. I would have, I think, overreacted, been a little more dramatic, because I'm not as used to the patterns that Danny has been through, and he's very aware of the cycles that he's gone through, and it's happened again and again, and it's just like, here we go again, another hiding, another place to be, and it's different for Danny, I think, than it would be for me. I mean, I would have been a lot more distressed by it all, and a lot more confused.
I guess my initial thoughts on this is that I'm a little thrown off by his energy here. I think this interview was around 1988, if I can remember correctly. Could be wrong, but I think this interview was around 1988. And man, I was just been born in 1988, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I guess the interesting thing with this is that, first of all, his energy is very hesitant. Another interview, more putting on the spotlight, and I think that somebody made a comment that, you know, to be so young, to have to basically be the breadwinner, or sort of be the man of the house, or the head person that is really bringing in the money. That's a lot of pressure. And so when she first asked him the question, and he sat up and he took a deep breath in, I felt like I could see him taking in that responsibility to be perfect. Even when they were counting in and counting him down, he's looking up, he's not prepared, but he's prepared, and he's waiting for the cameras to roll so he can be in action, so he can be in character. And I'll tell you something, man, a lot of times, and you all know this from working in the field and working in industry or whatever, there's a difference in acting and being yourself, and then having to be someone else. So I'm concerned that this is where he is in this interview, and it's a lot of pressure to be under for somebody his age.
Because I come from an entirely different situation, something that...
What is your family life like? Now, I know you're professional people, but you know, when you're the family unit, what are you like?
I love this question because I have something here that I'm gonna talk about, but I love this question.
It's hard to say. We're all over the place. There's a lot of stuff that's out there in the open as far as feelings.
If you get angry,
it's out there. It's out there. Everything's out there. It's really honest and immediate, and because of that, we don't let things build up too long so that we can deal with it and talk about it. And there's not many head games that go on. If we're upset, we don't show it by by walking around with a real grim look on our face for hours and hours on end. We'll deal with it, and we won't, we replace the guilt that most people give each other when they're upset with someone else with real honest feelings, whether they be real positive or drastically negative.
Are there times, well, first
Okay, so I think he was 18 here. This is an 88, I think, if I'm correct. He was 18 here. The way he's describing his family life, I don't think he's telling the truth. And I'll tell you why in a second. I don't think he's telling the truth. I think he's covering, because he doesn't talk like he's convinced that there's freedom in the house in terms of, yes, it can be said, but is it received?
well, let me ask you, what is your age now?
17.
Okay. When you were younger,
17,
particularly,
okay.
and you had some disagreement with your parents, and you would voice that disagreement, and they'd say, I don't know, maybe your parents didn't, but most parents say, because I said so, because this is the way it's got.
Oh, he's getting visibly upset. I don't know I'm not sure if he even came into this interview ready, but this here,
To be. Now, would you have that in
there's a tensity here.
your family?
A lot of times, most of the time, if not all the time, my parents deal with all the kids on a very equal level. It's not that I'm the parent, you're the kid, listen to this. There's reasoning involved. We'll communicate our feelings, and we'll negotiate and work it out. And there comes a time where the parents have to put their fist down and say, this is what we have to do. This is better for all. And but usually, if it's obvious that it's the right thing, we'll agree on it. We're all reasonable people. And one thing that I was talking about with a friend earlier about what parents do that really annoys me, and I guess every parent does it to all the kids, is when they say, listen, it's time to go to sleep now. Speaking when I was younger, it's time to go to bed now. And then you'll say, well, I want to go out, I want to do this and that, and they'll say, no, this is what you should be doing. You have an early call tomorrow morning or something. You have responsibilities to attend. You should get some sleep. And you'll say, well, what time is it? And they'll say, time to go to sleep. Or that little twist of, oh, you want
to what? I appreciate him for giving specific examples because I knew they were coming. Now, he very Kurt Cobain-esque in that he kind of plays around the situation, but he is more direct in a sense. Kurt Cobain is more poetic in how he discusses and describes his problems, but I really appreciate River being more direct in that at first I'll talk to you about this abstract idea of what parents do, and then I'll give you a specific example of what parents are doing to me that's annoying me specifically. And he's talking about the casting calls that happened to him earlier. And so I'm hearing his parents tell him he needs to be responsible. And that's what I'm concerned about. He does not like that responsibility. So it's like, I hear you, mom, dad, I hear you, but I don't like what you're telling me. I reject it. And there's sort of like a passive aggressiveness about him that I'm seeing.
You want to say, give me a fighting chance.
something like that, yeah.
River, in this movie, your character is a pianist. You must play the piano. Do you?
No, I don't play the piano. I learned to play. I can play chords and, the basics, but I couldn't read music, and I couldn't play piano, and I didn't know any classical music to play. And they had a piano coach that they had hired for me to learn all this kind of stuff, which is kind of ironic because that summer I wanted to get piano lessons and learn the basic theory and learn how to read music. And then Lorimar came along with this piano coach, and they paid for it. It was great. So it worked out, and I played throughout that stuff, and it was fun.
You're very good. I'm not a pianist, but I'm tuned in, seeing lots of piano competitions. You were very convincing.
Why,
I mean, you
thank you.
fooled me, let me tell you. Yeah, that's great. That really is great. Did that put extra stress on you as an actor, though, because you had to be worrying about that, and did that kind of take away from your concentration as an actor?
Early on, I was worried about, if I could, do it or not. But I had practiced enough, and I had, enough, lessons and help, from Gar, the piano coach, so that when it came around, I mean, it was, second nature as far as the fingering. It was all memorized. I didn't have to concentrate on reading, and I just played it through, and it really came easy, and it looked realistic. I mean, I hate the films where you see people's hands playing, and then it cuts back to the people playing hiding their hands, and they're just like. And in this, it's fun because you see the hands, and then it pans up, and you see me playing. And it's like, yeah, I did that, and it feels good because it just adds realism to the film, and I think that
He's not here. He's not present in this interview. There's something that's going on in his life that is distracting him. And there's a frustration that's happened or just in life. He's not upset with the host or the interviewer. But there is something going on in his life. I don't know what it is that he's frustrated about, that he just cannot get over.
Did you enjoy the classical music?
I was listening to a lot of it during that time, and I really do like it. And I love strings. I love cello, and I met one of the cello players that were acting in it at Juilliard, and the bassoon player, and I had written a song, and we had gotten together, and we had recorded it at a 24-track studio on my 17th birthday. And it was a lot of fun. It was kind of like this vaudevillian song with a kind of polka beat, and with cello and piano and guitar, and it was fun.
Are we going to hear that?
Are you going to hear that? I don't have the tape on me. But,
You should release it. I think it'd be great.
release it.
Sure, why not?
Because it's for me.
Oh,
it's
all
a
right.
private venture that
Oh,
is
okay.
a lot of fun.
Okay.
But I play it for friends and stuff. But
He is trying to, he feels overexposed. I want something just for me. You guys are demanding too much of me, and I want to keep something for myself. That's where it is. And that's why he would be sitting like that, kind of like caved in a little bit. I know that's how people sit a lot of times. But the very innocent, he doesn't feel free to speak his opinion. And so he pushed back a little bit here with the interviewer. He pushed back a little bit. She was very nice, and she's trying to navigate around his feelings. And she's very nice about it, very cordial about it. But he's there. And that's why his head is tilted like that, because he's kind of like listening to you, but I'm kind of keeping you at bay from me. There's a sense of exploitation here.
as far as, I don't know.
Well, River, we've used up our time, but again, it's been very
we have?
nice. Yeah, it's been very nice talking with you.
You stay out of this. We're talking some more. No.
Okay.
Okay.
When it starts recording on the spool, they get a little nervous. Anyway.
Any other questions? Any last minute?
No, I think that could cover it for the time. What's your next film, or do you have another one coming up?
I haven't
This-
worked since Running on Empty, and I'm kind of anxious to do something substantial and something that's really good. I'd like to do something that's candid, real life with some humor involved. I'm doing a little cameo bit part in Indiana Jones 3 for fun, and that should be good. I get to ride a caballo, a horse, that is. That should be a lot of fun, and I'm doing that in Colorado starting September, just for a couple weeks.
Okay, well, we'll look for that. for a while. I hope Running on Empty does well for you.
I hope so too.
Wonderful performance.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Nice talking to you.
Oh, that's a little rough, man. That toward the end there, he kind of was looking to give a little bit more of his time because he was a little bit relieved. He was like, man, yo, we're locked in for 45, 50 minutes. Jeez, man, we're going to see how this is going to go. She's going to surprise me with some questions. But when she was like, yo, we're done, he was like, oh, okay, well, cool. Any last minute things? Now it's time for me to give you what I want to give you. I've been receiving or telling you what you want to know, but now it's time to give you what I want to tell you. I have some projects coming up, whatever you guys want to know, the media stuff, this, that, and the third. Look out for it. I'm gone. He was so ready to go. She didn't even get a good goodbye in before he hit his, you know what I mean? His armrest. He was ready to go. This is a drag, and we need to noticing those sort of nonverbal signs. I think is important for being able to just stop and slow down and ask people, how's everything going? Is everything okay? And just offering, if there's anything I can do to help, anything next time we meet, I know whatever, this is my job, but there's anything I can do, please let me know and I will do what I can, whether it's getting you a bottle of Coke or making you feel more comfortable. I'm happy to do whatever I can. So please just let me know. And that gives people a sense of hope. And so instead of him, I guess, maybe feeling like he's just sort of this object to be thrown around. River, sit here, be quiet, be a good boy, this, that, and the third. So very interesting. I got a couple more. And but yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate the recommendation. And we'll kind of keep rolling on this. So like, share, subscribe, comment, engage. Let me know what you think. But until next video, take it easy.